This week's parasha, Parashat Re'eh, begins as follows. Re'eh, Anochi noten lefnechem hayom bracha uklala. See, this day I set before you blessing and curse. Et haberacha asher tishmeu el mitzvot Adonai Elohechem, asher Anochi metzaveh etchem hayom. Blessing, if you obey the commandments of Adonai your God that I enjoin upon you this day, and curse if you do not obey the commandments. This is a classic biblical theology of reward and punishment. If you obey the mitzvot, everything will be well. If you don't observe the mitzvot, automatically everything will be cursed. And it's a complicated theology for us moderns, difficult. And I don't intend to go there, but I intend to go where the Hasidic masters have gone. Hasidic masters often leave aside the plain intention, perhaps meaning of the text, and they are hyper-literalists. They sometimes read the text very, very closely, and they take the text somewhere else, often to much deeper places. This is how Hasidic master, the Sfat Emet, reads the following text. Re'eh, see, pay attention, look. Anochi noten lifnechem hayom bracha uklala. I place before you today blessing and curse. Et haberacha, the blessing, asher tishmeu. The blessing, and he reads the word asher not as if, the blessing if you listen, the blessing that you listen. And he stops there. And he says, listening, hearing, shmi'ah, היא כלי ukli shemachzik beracha. Hearing is a vessel that contains blessing. The blessing is hearing. Et habracha asher tishmeu. Blessing will come that you listen. The blessing is that you listen. And so listening is a blessing in itself. That's what he says. Which is it seems like a very simplistic teaching, but it's a very, very deep teaching. There is blessing in listening. Of course, there is blessing in listening to all the pleasant and sweet sounds that surround us. The music, the words of love, of affection, the good news. It's always, there's a blessing in those things. But there's also a blessing counterintuitively in listening to things that are harsh and difficult and sometimes unpleasant, because those are the things that makes us think, that sometimes makes us ask for forgiveness, that sometimes open us and often bring us close to the truth. Sometimes we hear something, we have to change our mind. There's a great blessing in that. There's a great blessing, of course, in the Shema Israel. Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God. Adonai is God, is one. To listen to the oneness. I spoke about this a couple of weeks ago. To be able to listen so deeply that we can hear, that we can actually hear the oneness that unites everything in creation. The oneness that brings everything together as a whole. It's a great blessing to be able to hear that. And sometimes we hear it. Sometimes we hear it's very elusive. We want to hold on to it, but it goes away. But when we can hear it and when we can hold it, even for a moment, it's a great blessing. And there's a great blessing in Shabbat, in hearing Shabbat. In Shabbat we have to hear with different ears. And I'm not just talking about physical hearing, I'm talking about spiritual hearing, about the hearing with the soul or with the heart. We have to, on Shabbat, we have to hear differently. It's a great challenge to switch the way in which we hear. We hear Torah, we hear prayer, we hear song, we hear music, we hear community. It engages us in a completely different way. We have to mix that switch. By the way, it says, if you turn to page 200, to page 23, 262, those who are at home, the first stanza of the Lecha Dodi, Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad. Observe and remember were uttered as one regarding Shabbat. Ishmi'anu elam yuchad. God made us hear these commandments. Elam yuchad, the special God, the unique God, made us hear these words, made us hear about Shabbat. And so God makes us hear Shabbat, and may we take it in. May we open our ears big and be able to take in all the beauty, the glory, the holiness, the sounds of this Shabbat. Because it says, Anochi noten lifnechem hayom. I'm giving you this today, this Shabbat. May we hear with very open ears of our heart and our soul.